Hello, fellow crafters, and welcome. All right, so I have not done lives, and I decided we're just gonna start doing spontaneous lives. Spontaneous lives feel so much more like me. And since I didn't have, well, I did have a video to put up for you guys, but it's a lot much more work than I anticipated because it is a very special video where I show you using the newly released um, Twinkle Toes and Tails, which is for lupus awareness. And I decided to go ahead and create a special card with this. And with this card, I was actually able to create a interactive moving card using the lawn form. I believe it's called a wheel, tilt-a-wheel, one of those dies. But I'll tell you a little bit about that, and I'll actually show you at the end of the live what that card is going to look like and when it's going to be posted. But today, we're going to have a little bit of fun with some embossing folders and the new Father's Love from Segura's Crafts. And we're also going to use, this is the anthracite cardstock with that beautiful shimmer that I love oh so much. And we're gonna throw down. We're gonna have fun and create a beautiful Father's Day card. So the very first thing we're gonna do is I already have a bunch of these already pre-cut. I'm thinking about starting to sell these as well. I have so many of them that I have pre-done, and they're very. I like them. They're helped me to access things a whole lot easier, cut things easier without using too much cardstock. And I also have my card base pre-done. But I love convenience, and that's why I have a whole bunch of these pre-cut. All my cardstocks, for the most part, are already pre-cut. But I do have some in the Segura's Craft line. I do have some full A4 size cardstocks. So we're gonna start off differently. Normally, we do the base last, but we're actually gonna go ahead and we're going to have the base first because we're actually going to layer this on top of it, and we're going to emboss the outside, and we're going to die cut the middle. So let's, instead of trying to explain it, let's go ahead and get straight to it and show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to first cut this down because I do want it to have a bit of a lining. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this down to 4, and I'm going to do a little bit on both sides because I'm always paranoid on if this actually cutting straight. I don't know, my eyes are just slanted because I cut it and I'm like, is it straight? And I go compare it to the line. I'm like, okay, well, it's straight, but I freak out. So go ahead and we're going to cut that to 4, and then we're going to bring it down to 5 1/4. Now, you can use any die that you have. I'm going to use an oval die because I'm thinking of using this stamp, and so I want that to be in the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the oval die and we're going to do some measuring. Let me go through my wonderful stash. Look at this, of dies just all sitting here. And these are not all just dies. These are just the ones that are die only. So I guess I don't have that much. I used to have way more, but I have given away a lot. So I have different types. I have like these kind of like a scallop kind of an oval die. And I'm thinking we might actually mix those together. If I can find me regular oval dies, I feel like I should have them, but you never know. You just never know. Of course I do. All right, I have the waffle flower ones. That makes sense? All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring these babies out and see which one we're going to use. I have this feeling though, right? Like about this part. So I'm thinking, let's see if it's big enough first of all. It like just makes it. Like it really just makes it. I don't want it to kind of, let's go one more bigger. That's good. All right, that's perfect. Because we're not putting the sentiment in here neither. It's just going to be the image itself. So I'm thinking we're going to use this and maybe when I want to, because I want to create a frame for it. So let's see if maybe, you know what? That's going to work. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So let's bring this to the side. And I have both of my die cuts. I literally have one over here and then one down here because there's embossing happening and I don't really know how to use, I don't know about you guys. I am not good at using my Gemini for the, I'm not good at using my Gemini for embossing folders. I don't know why. I have that issue with the Gemini and the folders. I can never get the sandwich right. But I think it's just something that just takes practice, right? Okay, so we're gonna place this in. I'm trying to center it to the best of my ability. And kind of where I want the image to be, right? So we're gonna do that. And we're gonna use, of course, some washi tape. And I feel like I've heard so many people, like men, who feel like Father's Day is not that important and that they don't get recognized. And I don't know, that's so sad because fathers play a huge part in this life too. Does it look like it's more higher here? I feel like I need to lift it a little bit more. This is coming from the person that uses a straight edge to cut things straight and then still doesn't think it's straight. Don't know if my instincts are going to be the best on this, but I feel that's a lot better than what it was before. Okay, so let's go ahead and, does that look straight to you guys? Yeah. Well, wish for the best. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wish for the best. Our eyes were not created to have grid rulers already inside for us so that we can craft perfectly. Wouldn't that be amazing though? If us as crafters, we like develop these like grid panels in our eyes that automatically makes everything, or us be able to measure everything at a different level. Oh, that would be amazing. But then we wouldn't have a good reason to use our beautiful T rulers, would we? I'm sure we could probably find a purpose. Anyways, we probably all. I think that's how people who can draw. I'm almost sure they have one that we just can't see, cause they are amazing. Like I've attempted to draw once, and I'm guys. Let's just say it's a lot of work, and it it requires a lot of asking my daughter to make my vision come true, because she's the drawer in the family. Okay, so we're gonna pop this out now. Oh, this is in the way. I'm like, what seems off here? All right, so that's that. Okay, so when we do it, if we want, we can actually, we're gonna actually, and I recommend doing this just for the sake that if you have ever tried to like place something back in afterwards and try to stamp it and realize that you should have stamped it first, this is how we prevent that, and I'm very much famous for it. Let's put this in the side because this is a good use later. So, hold on. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me, babe? I don't hear it. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure you guys could hear me because then that would be horrible to go through all this and you guys didn't hear a word I said. It happens in lives. It does. And I actually was going to start my live earlier, way, way earlier, and I had a tech issue. And I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. So I'm thinking, so we're going to take this one and we're going to place it right there at that center. See how that looks? Try to keep that there. Doesn't move. I'm still going to leave it there. I'm scared because I don't want to dirty it and it's so beautiful, but we're going to erase any of those thoughts, okay? I'm going to use some of the Hero Art Intense Black ink. Haven't used it in a while. I don't want it to dry out. I'm trying to love all my inks. I love them all. Okay. Do a quick this. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember the Hero Art one being good with Copic markers as well. I haven't had any issues with it. So I'm going to hold this down for a second. Ooh, whoa. That was close. And then we're just going to do a light press, not too hard. Great. Perfect. Just cover this up. I just said I didn't want to not freeze it. Dry it, and that's a good way to do it. Leave it uncovered. So we're going to go ahead. That's that, right? Perfectly. It looks actually real perfectly centered. Not bad. Not too shabby. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let that down. I am going to clean my stamp because Mama's getting better at that. Actually cleaning her stamps. I'm getting so much better at it until I realize I forgot it and then I go take it for a nice stamp bath. A luxurious stamp bath. Okay. Let's put this away. Alrighty. So now, this is the temporary stamping. We're not done stamping completely. We will be stamping some more. And I just ripped the baggage. Cool. All right. We're just going to let that dry. So let's take this off and let's put that Misty away. And we're going to keep this here for safekeeping because we're probably going to use it again. All right. So let's go and we're going to use the Altenew Connected 3D embossing folder. And if you can see, I have tender loved this thing. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to do a technique I've actually learned from our lovely Jennifer McGuire, who comes up with all the amazing different types of techniques. And we're going to actually hold this down and then I'm going to, you know, that might not work. You hear Annie in the background? Annie is at it again, guys. Okay. I might actually have to do it like this. Or just get a new one, because this clearly is not happening. Okay, yep, I'm going to get a new one. So we're going to get a new one. And we're going to bring it to the back. And this is just to kind of help hold it down. It's so many, like, crevices that it may not, but let's make it work. So we're going to go ahead. We're just going to place it down. And if you decided, let's say you have a different type of a pattern that you want to use, because you don't have this embossing folder per size, but there's another type of pattern you want to use, you can actually cross it and give it a different design, which is really nice. So now we're going to go on this side, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to ink the background here, but it's going to be inked in black. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do that before, but I do like the idea of it. So I'm just going to Kind of add that ink back there. Try to make sure it's going to be able to cross everything. Okay. I'm going to slide this slightly down so I can make sure it gets it. Say a little prayer, close it, and then run it through my Sizzix machine. 1 second. I'm going to mute it because it's going to make a lot of noise. Okay, so I'm putting, I took off, I have the, let's see if I can show you it here. Let's make it work. There we go. That works, right? I'm gonna try to use the sandwich that goes here, that's on here. So it says just the gray plate and a clear plate on top. And I'm actually gonna turn it this way because of the fact that I've already bent it the opposite direction. So I'm just gonna place my plate. I'm trying to be very careful to not move that inside too much or open. And that went through so softly. I don't think it worked. So let's see if I add on the bottom because I don't want to mess with it. That extra plate. There we go. It goes a little force. Not too hard. Perfect. Felt like a nice little soft touch. Alrighty. Come on. Alrighty. And I will rinse this off. So let's bring all of this down now. Ew. Okay, so note to self. I can use the alternate Sizzix, might need the green, and yeah, it's doable. So now that's that. Look at that. And that nice little distressed look kind of has like a mixed media kind of a look. All right. So we're gonna do that. We're actually gonna add a little bit more to it. So let's go ahead. We're gonna place this to the side. I have some, let's see. I can use, let's go ahead and I have some cube ones, but I don't want to open a new one. So I'm just going to take the original standard side and we're just going to, make sure it's not going to go my finger everywhere. Okay. And we're just going to do the edges and that's going to also add that little extra little look to it. Okay. Definitely adds some distressing and adds a little mixed media, more mixed media look, you know, give it a little antique look. Like it's been through it. Dads be they be going through it, you know? All right. So that's that. So are you seeing the vision? Are you seeing the vision? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna make this, bring it a little bit closer because while this dries a little bit and we don't get it everywhere like I just did just now, I think I have some alcohol somewhere. I have some alcohol spray I could just use. We're gonna start coloring this little guy. And I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible because normally coloring takes me quite some time, but I'm gonna make it as quick as I can to not make this too long of a life. Okay? Let me get some colors and not unplug things. Okay. So I have my set and look, so these I keep with me on the side, but believe it or not, these are duplicates. These are my duplicate Copic markers. And so it's like, oh, I can keep them on the side. And if there's extra ones I don't have in here, I can get them from my, whatchamacallit? My stash. just realized I am not recording this whole thing. Okay. Okay, so let's see. It's gonna be very, I want to keep like a monochrome kind of a look, right? So if we do like a monochrome card, we're gonna stick to the grays. If we're gonna stick to the grays, it's gonna be a mix between the cool and the toner grays. And maybe a little neutral. The neutral would be more for the face. So let's go ahead. We're gonna see what neutral ones I have here already. I have a lot of cools. So let's go ahead and pull my cools out since they're here. And what's this one? Another cool. Part of the cool kids. All right. We'll grab some. Shouldn't go too much on the face. So we're just gonna do some N0. Oh, well, I'll show you which ones we actually use because it's very possible we don't actually use all of those colors. And then I'm gonna grab for the toner, I'm gonna grab a T4, a T6, and a T8, and maybe a T7. And a T1. So I'm gonna have to bring that all in. So there's a lot of grays going on. We're making this for sure a monochrome card. Let's move this out the way. And and let's go right ahead and let's start coloring this up. So normally I like to start with the face, right? So we're gonna do a 2. I'm gonna get my kneeling chair. Makes a lot better for me so that I'm not putting my face in the complete live. You guys can't see anything. All right. So we're gonna start, and I'll see if I can bring a little bit closer so you can watch. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna start with the face. We'll start with an N2. All right, and we'll have that N0 there. The N2, we can actually, protect the back of this. All right, we don't want to get it too dirty. So let's protect that really quick with some Post-its that I'm hoping I have in my drawer. That I might not have in my drawer. That's okay. I have a different Post-it that I can use. Okay, lucky Post-its can post right back to where it came from. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go from the middle down since these are a little bit different. And it's just to make sure we protect every crevices of it. From here, go up. And then we'll take the chances on the corners. And we'll do this. Protect the, can't do it. Can't do it. Now I feel like I'm like half, it. So we'll do that. And then I'll take this side and I'll actually come over like this so that it's all covered. Cool. It's protected. That's priority. We don't go through all that just to end up messing it up. But if it did, there are ways to fix it. So let's go into coloring now. So I'm going to use N2 first. And let's go ahead and try to keep this thing closed for a second here. All right. That should help you. All right. So with some N2, that's not N2. Here we go. We're going to use some N2. See if I could show you it here. Come on, clear up, clear up. There we go. And I'm going to use this to add the shadows, right? So we know there's going to be shadow right under the hair, right? And I'm trying to make it as thin as possible. There we go. And then right at the neck area, we know right over here there'll be some. That might not have too much of a dark shadow. And he is not wearing high waters, so we're good here. So it should be there when it comes to the face part, right? Because the face is really, really light. So we're just going to like bring that all in like that. There you go. And even here, we'll bring that out. We're gonna add that little on top, a little shadow there. We're gonna put, for him, we'll put a little bit here and here, and all there. Then we're gonna go ahead, we're going to use that N2 again, and we're just going to kind of help blend that all in by doing little taps. I'm not really doing brushes, it's more of taps, because there, I want that little shadow that we had already created in the beginning to still be there. And except for the neck is just the neck. And I'm actually gonna add a little bit to the leg, right? And I'm just doing little dots, and that's just gonna add a little texture to it. Then we're gonna go back to that N1, and I'm actually going to, from the outside, I'm actually gonna bring it a little bit more in on this side, over here, at the ear, right here, down here, bring that. And then we're gonna go ahead, bring that here, a little bit on the top over here, up here. Okay. Now for, let's see, for the hair, we'll go into the N3 and N4 for hair. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna do it like a beginning and an end. So we're like coming from the top, and we're kind of giving him like a curly kind of a look of hair. So it's not going all the way, but just kind of to the center, kind of giving it the illusion that light is also hitting in that center, if you can think of it that way. We're not trying to make him look old, because he's a young dad, okay? He's still hip, as my husband says it. And yep, I can tell you guys, my husband's actually in this room with me doing the video and watching all that, and I am saying it, and he just said, oh Jesus Christ. Yep, I'm putting you out there, babe. It's okay, I love you and all your hip ways. Okay, so that little light in that middle just gives a nice little shadow, nice little glare look, right? And then we're gonna go into the clothing. Now with the clothing, I'm gonna go with more of a cool tone. And then with the jeans, I'm gonna go into a toner, because the cool tone is it's more of like a grayed out color. So let's pull out some C1, C3, and C5. Yeah. All right, so start off with the C1 as our protective to make sure that we don't go too far. So with the C1, we'll start with the areas that we're gonna have shadows. So we know this shadow's probably gonna come out to about here. Oh, this is the pants. Lord, good thing the toners are darker than the cool, so we'll be okay with that. So this shadow's coming from here on this shirt. Let's see, he's gonna have some shadow going on here at that touch. Now, if we're gonna have the sun coming from directly above, then everything down. So his light glow would be here. And let's see, this would actually be, because it's coming from the bottom, so a little shading here, and should be fine. All right, let's go in with that C3 in that same area, but not as low. Oh, nope, I almost went to the pants again. That's the first place because the pants typically, like, it's the fun thing, the color is really simple. All right, so we're just gonna go there. And I like to do a little dabbing at this point around so I don't go too far. And sometimes depending on the paper, right, if it bleeds a lot, dabbing will kind of let you know when to stop and not go too far. Whereas when we are drawing, we move so slow that it just... So dabbing kind of helps with that. That looks good here. We are going to add just a slight bit up here because his hands are up in the air. He's raising them like he just doesn't care. All right. We're going to go now to the C5. And with the same concept, but again, we're going to be a little bit more cautious to not get it in all the same exact areas. All right, got there. I almost went to the pants again. This is like a routine at this point. We are going to do a little bit on that part there, that line. And we're just going to, there we go. And under here, up here, a little closer to the top. That is fine. We're not going to mess with that part. We'll leave that part alone. We'll go back to that C and we're just going to make it slightly bigger than the one that was there to help with the blending. Right? If we started off making it big, then it would have been huge by the time we finish. So that's what we're not trying to do. So we're just doing this in layer form. We did put some here already, but we just add a little bit more because we're going to go back over it. And then blend that all out with that C0 and just that outer part. Don't go on top of it, just the outer part of it. Because sometimes you go on top of it, it kind of causes that little staining. And we don't want that. So we're just going to do this. That outer part of it kind of just adds that nice blend. Little dabs. That's it. How's it look so far? Now we're going to go and we're going to move on to the toner. So what I'm going to do actually so that I can tell you guys later what we actually used. Yeah. All right. And then toner, we're going to go with T4, T6, and I'm stuck between the 7 and the 8. We'll see. So let's start off with the T4 because that's our lightest. So that T4, you guys want to know where I got the word toner from. That's it, toner gray. So we'll start with the T4. And with the T4, we're going to put, of course, the areas that we're going to have shadows at. Right in the inner thigh. The father's pants, of course, it's going to be a little bit longer because it's a kid. Do right underneath this area. And that's it. Just those are 2 pants. Cool. Actually, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the ends of these 2 sides here. And then we're going to pull out the T6. Very careful now. I'm opening my markers down here because one time I did it here and it was full of ink and it splattered everywhere, I tell you. So just go ahead. We're going to start kind of swishing this more further down. Right? Because honestly, it's almost the main color of this entire thing. So I'm going to do that. I hope I'm right. And I did not misjudge. Let's see here. That's his leg and that's his shoe. Okay, cool. We forgot to do his hair. We got to do his hair. Note to self. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to bring this a little bit further down here. Okay, because the gray is the main color. We're going to pull out that T8. okay? And with the T8, I'm gonna do right around that corner, and it looks like it's kind of blending in. So, oh, it works. Let's just do it. All right. I'm gonna go in the center here, where it's gonna create shadow under Dad's leg. And then we're gonna go back to that T6. We're gonna color it a little bit further out. And then go into that T4. And from the bottom, we're actually gonna go in like that. And just color that all in. And it'll already have all those shadow marks that we had previously made. It'll be there, especially when you see it close up. Okay, now that center piece right there, we're gonna take that T1 and we're actually going to just mark in that center piece there. Let's work on Buddy's hair. So we're gonna take that, if I'm not mistaken, the hair I actually used the C5, right? No, C5 was more for the shirt. The hair is gonna be the N4s, N3 and N4. So let's start off the N3-4. Okay. We'll just start off at the top. And we're going to use that N4 and we're gonna do that pinch on top again. And we'll bring in that N2, and that's just gonna help us to kind of tie that all in. Now, if you wanted to add some curls to it, you can take like an N4 for a second. So we'll add curl to the youngin, and you just do some little dabs, straight lines, like a curve line, and that'll give it the illusion of the curls. And you can do that in multiple different tones. So if you could see that, looks a little bit more curly compared to Dad, who looks shiny and slick back. So there is our monochrome. And if you want, I say we're gonna do it real quick. Let me fill in this piece of his sock, because I think it's a sock, so like he's wearing shorts, right? So we'll fill that part in with T1. And then we're going to use the darkest. So I have a T8. And we'll go ahead and we'll color that shoe in, that T8. And we'll do Dad's like this and leave that top part a little shiny. Same here. Leave that top part a little shiny. And then here, we'll just color it all in. I wasn't going to, and then I realized, yep, we're just gonna color it all in. All right. So there we go. There's our nice little mono colored stamp image there. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's put this aside. I'm actually gonna put this away on a different side so that I know I can organize them. Make sure I'm going through the right thing. Alrighty. So now I told you guys about how I wanted to create a little bit of a hello Ruth, how are you? Welcome back. So we're gonna create that little ring around here, right? Now, I really like that ring part, So I'm thinking we're gonna go ahead and I want to keep that circular look. So we're just going to place, I don't want to use the whole thing. So we're going to, actually, I could use it later. So let's be that person, all right? And make sure it's centered to the best of our ability. And we're going to take some washi tape and we're just going to hold that part out so that when we have our little slight craft attack, we can make sure that it's at least still there and that did not move. So now we're going to work on the center part here. And I'm trying to make sure that the corners, because when it comes to ovals, typically it's always this side that ends up being off portioned to this side or this side to this side, but there's this little like secret area on these little antennas, so to speak. If you could imagine a number 2, like 2 fingers, that antenna tends to be the part that's unportionate. So I'm going to use those guidance to create a more portionate side there. And let's go ahead. We're going to run it. Ooh, it don't look like it's portionate. Okay. Maybe a little bit more this way, this there, that there. Maybe little this, little that. Use the camera. Sometimes the camera, actually in the camera, it looks pretty good. All right, I'll go with the camera view. My view is not the best. All right, let's go ahead. Place it in here. Make sure you, hey, love each other in the exact space that you guys are. Okay. Let's run it through. You're gonna hear a lot of noise. We're gonna work on this section here. Okay. Awesome sauce. Now, it worked. There we go. So, question is this. Is it too small? Nope, actually it works. Great. So we have 2 options. We can rather, let's bring this back so you can see it. And let me bring this out. See a lot better. We can rather place this with this. All right, place that on here. Wait, it's very precise because we stamped it first before we had, we stamped it before we die cut it. Yes, okay, so it's precise. So we can rather do it where we have this sitting in it, or we can have it where we slightly pop it up to it and kind of give it like an outside frame look. What do you think? Or we can place this here. We glue it down to here. It would stay down here. Don't move, don't move. And then we would pop this up. What do you think? Both of them are definitely unique. They're definitely different. Which one? I feel like we've always seen the middle frame popped up. Maybe doing the bottom frame pop up will be a little bit different. Or, Yep, let's just put this and we'll pop this one up instead. Let's do that. So let's go ahead and move all this out of our way, of course. Save the gems for later because we can definitely use these. All right, so yeah, I think we're gonna go for this here, and then we'll pop this part up because I want all the that we did on the sides, you can see it a lot better when it's flat on the card. So then this could just be that extra center focus. All right, so let's do that. Let's go ahead and let's get this adhered down. And oh look, we still have this back here. Don't rip, be nice, be gentle. Okay. So we remember, so I don't mess up the beautiful centerpiece that we did. So we're gonna go ahead and do it this way so I remember. And we're gonna put this on the side. We're gonna work on this portion here. Now with the embossing, it's always a little bit difficult because you have all those riffle and those, you know, nooks and crannies that you kind of have to go into with the glue, right? So sometimes using multiple different types of adhesives is good. I have this double-sided tape, so let's go ahead, and this is just some I got from Walmart, right? So you can find this at your local craft store. I'm sure they have some there as well, and if not, for sure Walmart does have it. So I'm just gonna place some all around. Then, okay. Even the tape doesn't stick. See, it's very wishy-washy. Then I'm gonna take some liquid glue. I have somewhere. Check here. Where's my liquid glue? Out of all the things, okay, give me 1 second, because it was here. Oh, it's behind. I have my phone here to help me watch the chat as well. And it was what's holding my phone. Go figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna actually shove this down. I like to start up here. We're going to put quite a bit. Oh, wait. We're gonna have to do some digging. So I'll put like the needle and I'll squeeze and I'll kind of still help, and it'll kind of help get whatever gunk out. There we go. So we'll go ahead and it's like a little needle pipe. Oh, got that on my hand. I sure did. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna pour here. And I like to get it to the corners because those tend to be the things that tend to come off, right? And once the corner comes off, it's like leverage for the entire card at that point. Annie is sleeping. She fell asleep. So you may hear her wonderful adult snoring because she sounds like an entire human when a Saint Bernard sleeps. They sound like a human snoring. When she started snoring as a baby, we used to look around at the kids to see who was snoring like that. And it was our dog. Okay, so while I position my card on here, I want to take a moment to tell you guys to go ahead on our Facebook page. On the bottom of the YouTube, you will see our description. It has all of our social media links. I would love for you guys to add yourself to that. I'm working on getting some things adjusted. I just recently found out people could not put their post on there, and that's the whole point of it. Like, I want people to be able to post their own things on there as well. So I'm gonna get that adjusted, but and I'll definitely do it today. However, I want to mention if you guys could go ahead and follow our Facebook page, right? So that I can see some of the things that you guys create as well with the stamps or with these idea, not necessarily with only Segura's crafts, but also any designs that you guys create from the heart, right? Or maybe you want to tell a story. You want to talk about, what went through your mind at the time when you were crafting this and how, crafting that particular card helped you to deal with something or go through a happy memory or with whatever situation that may be going on, right? A lot of people, could relate and you can get that extra support. So by all means, I would love to hear some of your stories for me, Father's Day is a very important day for me. Um, I see how hard my husband works and, where he started and all the growth that he did, to be the man that he is today. And, and I couldn't be any more prouder of him. He's very hard on himself. He always, thinks that he's not doing good enough. And sometimes he feels like he let himself down. But there's nothing that I would take away from the type of a man that he is. And I think sometimes, fathers, they're always kind of told to be the tough ones, right? They always got to be tough and never really show emotions or even take in appreciation sometimes. They just think that's what they're supposed to do, and it's noble because a lot of fathers don't. So those out there that does that, I gotta give them credit and let them know like you're appreciated. And my husband is, you know, one that he deserves a lot of points. Especially fathers who may have not had a father themselves, and had to figure it out on their own. They deserve credit, right? Because women, because of our emotions and the way that we are, even the most traumatic things that we may have gone through with our parents, we tend to just take that and um, sometimes, right, we take that emotion and we put it towards what we never want our own children to feel or experience. And so that it's a lot different for men who are pretty much raised to not show emotions. So that's need their credit too. They do it all the time, and a lot of them like probably feels the same way that my husband feels. It feels like his like Father's Day is not important, and it's so important. It is oh so important. Did you hear Annie? Did you guys hear that? I'm gonna laugh when I go through this video again and watch it, and then I hear Annie just snoring away, because that's what she does. All right, so we're gonna add just a little bit of glue to kind of, well, for one, get rid of this gunk I have on here, because it's had its fair share. And there you go. Yikes. All right, and we're gonna center it right here. See how I tucked it in the bottom first? Then, oh, shift. All right, I'm gonna look at my camera from the top, make sure kind of perfect. All right, it's like a little picture frame. Isn't it cute? It's like a picture frame with the photo inside. All right, now let's go ahead and let's start adding our sentiment. So we're gonna do, so we have, this is the Father's Love. I introduce again, the Father's Love stamp from Segura's Crafts as well. And here we got a couple of sentiments. These sentiments are made a little bit bigger because like I said, hearing that fathers sometimes feel like that, Father's Day is not important. I needed to make it big. I needed the words to be big and make sure that they know, hey, look, it's not small sentiment, it's a big sentiment, which you do, right? So we have from tears and tantrums to love and laughter. Thank you for always being there, Dad. Dad, in your arms, I have always felt safe, loved, and at home. You've been my calm in the chaos, my strength when I cried. You've taught me to grow with love, kindness, and strength. And then, of course, the Happy Father's Day. I wanted to put one, here so that you'll be able to utilize it if you may not have a Father's Day die or another stamp that just says Happy Father's Day. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see. We can, I have an idea for this. We'll get to it. Okay, we're gonna go ahead. We are going to use the Dad in your arms. I have always, Let's see. Ooh. We're gonna do the "You've taught me to grow with love, kindness, and strength." We'll do that one. And let's go ahead and pull that Misty out again. We're almost done with the card. A little bit over an hour, not bad at all. Okay, so let's do it. Oh, you know what? Will it work? Will it work? I know I said I was going to use this for a different card, but we have it here, don't we? So let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to use the bottom of this. So I'm just going to cut a slight piece off like this. I'm going to place it here at the bottom. We know it's straight. Go ahead, take our stamp off. Place it on our cardstock. Trying to make it straight, of course. Does it really matter though? Because we're gonna literally go in there and we're gonna lift this paper up. Is what we're gonna do. Okay, let me move this a little bit higher so you guys can see. Okay, cool. All right. Of course, we're gonna prime this up. Of course. Prime. Then, all right. So let's go ahead. We're gonna actually do some heat embossing, because since this is the Segura's Craft, the Segura's Craft cardstocks, they're very, very thick. They're like 105 pounds, pretty thick. I'm going to use, of course, the should I do? Yeah. We're gonna do the alabaster. And I'm just going to nicely make sure that is nicely inked over. And slight press. Let's do that center, see if it'll go down a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit more because you can see everything now, but just to make sure it's nice and wet for the embossing folder. I'm just gonna cover this up and I'm gonna let it sit for a second. We're gonna prepare our paper and what am I doing? Yeah, I'm gonna prepare a paper. Let's go ahead and let's take some alabaster this is also from Brutus Monroe as well. Alabaster embossing powder. We're gonna get that ready, prepared. Grab that please. Heat gun. Make sure that is ready for us as well. And then let's restart the process all over again. Oh, stay. Okay. Let's go ahead. Make sure it's nice and wet. Close it. Light pressure. Right, everything's already pre-opened, ready to go. We don't mind it coming off this time because we're about to grab it. And let's go ahead and pour that alabaster all over that. Tap, tap, tap. Oh, pretty good. All right. Thought my lotion was going to get involved. It did not. So let's let it sit and marinate in that for a little bit. And then pour this right back inside this little cutty. And do a little cleaning, of course. All right. I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna move this to the side. So I think that's how I messed up my thing once. And let's warm this up. So set it to 2. I'm just gonna let it warm up first. And it gets hot pretty quick. So this takes a lot of heat. Actually, let me use something to hold it. Like I said, it does take a lot of heat. see if I could show you guys. I'm gonna keep it kind of focused on it. Let you see. It melts. There we go. Sometimes hit it from a different direction. You really don't know what direction you're hitting that air in sometimes. And look at that. To the back. And look how, oh, sorry, see it? It's not too warped. I'll bring it up so you can see. Look at that. It's pretty straight. It takes a lot of heat. I'm using that line on my glass board. You can see that. It takes a lot of heat. So really good for those who may not be that good with heat embossing and you always apply too much heat without warping. Definitely recommend this cardstock for that. But we are unfortunately very limited with the colors. But as time goes, we definitely will up the colors. I already have that listed as to what colors I'm going to be using or making available. All right. So look at that. That took a lot of heat, guys. A lot of heat. It's not that hot, but he taught me to grow. Look how beautiful that looks. Right? All right. Ooh, ooh, this is a hot tweezer. All right. So, two options. You can either die cut this, right? And if you have any die cut strips, you could die cut it or you could just cut it. We're going to cut it. We're just going to cut it. But I do have some strips, sentiment strips that I could cut if I wanted to. I could use to cut this if I wanted to. They are, actually I had it from multiple places. I think I have one from Simon Says. I definitely have one from Cat Scrappiness. And I think that's it for the most part. Okay, let's see. We're gonna cut here. Let me make sure it's straight. And then cut that. Other side, line it with that, line it with this, and then cut it with that. All right. So let's bring our card back. All right, give you guys a better view. All right. So I'm thinking we could put this rather here. We could make it a little bit fun, a little whimsy there. You can place it up here. You can put it on the side. If you had maybe, if you did this on some Velcro, not Velcro, my goodness, some vellum, right? You could actually place it in the center, but I have a different idea here. So I'm going to actually place this down here. And I know it seems really simple and typical, but stay with me for a second, okay? Just stay with me, all right? But I am also gonna pop it up. We're gonna give it a nice little pop-up look. So let's grab some foam tape. And I'm not gonna make it too poppy. I said poppy, it kind of remind me of a troll. Okay. Off? Mercy on life. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Let's put this sticky fella up here. Cut. And for equality, let's go ahead and place it down here because equality is balance. All right. And then if you ever have extra, literally just place it right back on there. It works. All right. And this is multiple, you know, layers of work here. So let's go ahead and we're gonna add, oh Lord, this was still pumping out some glue. There you go. Move that gunk right off of there. Maybe it'll stop clogging after this point. We'll see. So go ahead, we're gonna add some glue. I just want to make sure that this doesn't get in the way. That is a thick clump right there. Okay. All right, good, good. Thank you for all you do, glue. Mr. Glue. All right, let's make sure it's not upside down, of course. And then we're gonna place it right below there. All right, now, while that does the sticking, we've got one more thing to do. Here's the option. You can, the idea I originally had was taking a piece of vellum, all right, and creating a strip across that would say Happy Father's Day that would have to be removed to open the card. But I kind of like the idea, right? Because I believe when we write Father's Day, Mother's Day cards, you know, we should write our own little sentiment inside. So I like the idea of placing this here and then putting this in the inside. What do you think? And that way we can place our own little message. We can rather put it high up, write our own little personal message there. We could put it in the center, do a family where different people of the family write messages around. There's many ways you can do this, right? I'm probably gonna put mine like about right here. And that way messages could be placed down here. So let's go ahead and let's get to that, because I do like that look. And then we'll see what kind of gems and shines we can add to it. All right, most masculine cards don't really have a lot of gems, but we're gonna do it. So, oh, we're gonna try to at least, right? Because we're keeping it monochrome. We are keeping it monochrome. All right, so go ahead. Let's go. See, I said I was getting better at this, and what did I do? Forget to do it. So let's go ahead. Let's clean this up so we can add the next part. Whoa, sorry, I hit my mic. I hope that was not too loud. All right, let's move this out. Good idea. Thanks, Ruth. I thought, like, if we're on the same page, because, you know, I don't know. Sometimes with this technology, you just never know what is at the time that it is. And it's very much that you could be talking about something completely different, but I think you're talking about the Happy Father's Day portion, placing it inside, if that is what you're talking about. Yeah, thank you. I figured, you know, so many times let's put this, I guess I could do a little bit further in so that I can actually open this. So many times we do these cards, and we rather write the sentiment inside, or we want to place the celebratory sentiment, right? Whatever the card theme is, on the outside, and maybe we should just put it on the inside, right? Make it like a really fun mystery kind of a card. So this is gonna move me. Let's see something. Hold on, because I'm afraid of this thing moving. So okay. I'm gonna do this because I am afraid of it moving. I'm gonna take some, okay, we are on the same page. Cool. Making sure. I'm gonna take some washi tape, and I'm just gonna make sure the bottom is at least stable Mabel. All right, let's move this. Again, I think I already primed this. It feels like it's primed. It looks pretty cloudy. Let's go ahead and let's use some Raven ink. I like the squareness of the thing. This needs to be re-inked. That is what's been going on with it. It needs to be re-inked. Okay, I'm gonna have to re-ink this. All right, I won't do that right now, of course, because your time is valuable. But I'll go back to my Versamark. Still pretty juicy. But yeah, I feel like we sometimes rather put a sentiment inside, or we write inside, and sometimes we can just place the theme in the inside instead, right? I don't know if I would ever put a die cut inside, but I mean, it's possible. We can make that a challenge. Try to put a die cut sentiment inside. Let's make that a challenge. Let's try it. Let's bring something new to the craft world like we always do as crafters. That looks great. All right, now that we have that portion done, I'm trying not to close it so it needs to dry. So I'm gonna leave it open a little bit while I clean up this area, just so that we don't close it and get that on there, because that would be heartbreaking. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's clean this up. And put that away. Hey, Ruth, out of curiosity, is 2 o'clock a better time? Or I'm not sure what time zone you're in. So 2 o'clock Mountain, 4 o'clock Eastern. Is that a better time, do you think, for doing lives? What is your opinion on that? And if anyone that catches the replay, please let me know a better time to do lives. I would love to do lives with you guys. Okay, we'll put that here. All right, this should be pretty dry. Okay, so let's talk about, oh, look at this, it's just pouring out. Let me clean this real quick. So let's talk about the gems. Gems, I love gems, right? And I feel like gems is like an elevation from what we did when we were younger, right? Like when we would make our fathers any kind of Father's Day gift for a Mother's Day gift for anything. What did we use? Macaroni and cheese, right? I mean, well, macaronis, not cheese, but the macaronis, right? And we used the little elbow macaronis and we did the little decoration. So is it fair to say dads are not necessarily all about the gems? We'll see. Let's try, since we have monochrome. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. All right, I have these Aura Glows, right? But those are color. All right, I've shown them before in different lives. They look like this, right? And they're colors. You can kind of see the colors. We're going for monochrome here. So I'm thinking we grab the clear ones and we place some in some little strategic places. That feels like an ending, and I'll be able to show, well, I'm gonna try my best to see if I can show you guys how it looks inside of a dark room. I'm gonna put it in a dark room and try to show you. So if you stay to the end, I'll be able to show you the glowingness of the glows and how the card looks like at the end with all the glows in it in that room. I mean, in that my dark shadow box kind of a place. You know what I'm saying. Okay, let's get started. This is the last bit and then we're done with the card. So let's not waste any time here. So I'm going to now, just gonna pour this out. This is the same one I've been using. I haven't opened a new pack yet, I don't believe. So I'll pour that out. I'm gonna grab another one and I'm actually going to pull out the clears. It's not too hard actually. I thought it'd take a lot longer than that, but it really doesn't. Got a little pink there, and I'm not gonna grab a lot, just a little bit of variations, because sometimes there's some pieces that are bigger than the other, and that makes it too bulky. So I'm just kind of grabbing as many little pieces as I can so that I can have a little to play with. That should be enough. Let's move this to the side. I'm gonna put this here. So what I'm thinking is, I'm actually gonna use a black jelly roll. So I'm thinking of, I like how, I don't know why, right? But there's something, see like this area is like really, really dark. So the more ink kind of hit this area. A little more ink hit this area. This might just be my own vision, right? But you know, some of us, we we have that. We see like the littlest thing. So I see it's in this area. I see some right here. Here, so I'm thinking one in this center. So one here, right? And then one right here. One right here. And see, I'm actually gonna put one right here. So we got this. It's amazing how it's like equal, right? Literally. Okay, so they're there, and then we're gonna pick some other strategic areas. So we'll put one in here. Just put a small dot there. We'll put one right here. So we got 2, 4, 6, and 2, 4, 6, and let's. Trying to think. I have here, here, here. Maybe I'll go right here. 7. Let's do 7. Lucky 7, right? So let's grab our glue. And you can use regular glue. You can use what's it called? You can use the accent. It's called accent. Glossy accents. So you can use glossy accents if you'd like. Whatever, it's up to you. All right, so I'm gonna put a glob there. I'm gonna put a glob here. I'm gonna put one here, here, that little center part I had hidden. I would let you know, I'm going back to, okay, hold on. Okay, let's not do it. Let's focus here. Okay. I'm committing. I am committing. Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna close this up so that it doesn't make any new blobs. And let's zoom out a little bit so that you can see. So we're going to use now, Annie just did another snore again. I'm gonna make it known. Just wonder how many times she does it. Okay, I'm going to now use just a regular gem picker, and I'm gonna find me nice little ones. Here's one that looks pretty decent. Place that there. Looks good here. Then we're gonna place one here. Oh wait, just make it a little bit flatter. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's place another one here. Got a little glue there. Then we're gonna put the, oh, not that one. Let go. Where'd it go? I thought I saw one here that was gonna, this one. Take that one, we're gonna place this on the inside. And let's go for this. Let's place that one right here. One more, oop. There. And yeah, I think that works. Alrighty. Yeah, so you can't really see it. It still keeps that monochrome look. My guess would be 2, cause 4. Well, it's my daughter, sorry. My guess 2, cause 4 kids coming home from school. So yeah, 2 p.m. my time is fine. That's around this time is fine for everyone. That's fine. Yeah, that's one of the biggest issues, right? Just never know the perfect timing. So this is it. See if you guys could see it. The little glow pieces are there, right? Now, I'm gonna remove all this and I'm gonna place it somewhere safe so that I can rearrange them right back to the spot it needs to be in. And I'm actually going to place my stamp. So If you have a stamp of yours, go ahead and place your stamp. All right, and I want to try to clean this up a little bit. Grab some sand, and there we go. Just some little itty bitty things. You probably can't even see it, but I can. And I wanted to erase that just in case. Sand eraser. Mono sand eraser. Amazing work. Okay. Okay. So, this is our finished card. Look at that. I feel like it definitely fits the masculine look, right? It's a nice little monochrome card. Have that little Father's Day message inside. It's a cute little top folding card. Now, for the magic, let me show you how it looks when we turn all the lights off. I'm gonna try to see if I can pull it into my box for you. So give me 1 second, and we are going to go into the box. I'm gonna actually write that inside the chat really quick in case anyone comes in at the end. 1 second. FaceTime camera. All right, let's see if this is gonna work. That's that connecting. So I'm actually going to use a blanket, and I'm going to create this dark look room. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's create our little box. All right, honey, turn this off for me. This. Okay. All right. This is the funniest thing I've ever done, but it's gonna work. Ooh. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me see the box right there. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to take the card and we're going to kind of create a box, so to speak, for you guys to see what I'm talking about with the glowing. Just take this bottom. Originally, we had it set up for it to be on the thing, but my camera just decided to the camera decided to just stop working, and it's not connecting to my computer. So we're gonna make this work. So I'm gonna first place. I'm gonna place some black cardstock back here so that it's better to see. I'm gonna place that in here. We're gonna see if we can do this. See if it's going to work. Where is the cover? gonna work. Hold on. Okay. See if you guys see that glow? It's a little bit hard to see because there's lights. Honey, can you turn the light off real quick? Other way. There we go. There you go. So this is with a little bit of light showing in there, right? Because I can't make it completely dark. Do you think you could grab that paper? Cover this side. And there you go. See a nice little glow to it? And in the dark, it looks a lot better. But we're doing the best that we can with the situation that we're in right now. Literally, this is with a Misty and my husband holding a paper in a box for us to show you that. Let's turn the lights back on. And the way that you charge this is very simple. You charge them just by crafting in the light, honestly. The more light you show, the brighter it gets. No. The more light you show, the brighter it gets. And that was just trying to create with, not completely in the dark, but showing with what I got, what I was able to kind of make into a dark for you guys. But this is the finished card. I hope you guys enjoyed this card, and honestly, please add me on your add us to your social media pages so that we can see what you create and how you were inspired, what Father's Day means to you, your story. Like I said earlier, I would love to hear more about it. And for me, it's amazing, right? This is an elegant and a beautiful card, monochrome, because apparently fathers think that their day is a monochrome day. So I decided to take that monochrome idea of thinking that it's not that big of a deal and create it into something elegant. Because even the thing that is most mislooked is still the most beautiful and the most amazing thing. And that's what fathers are to us. And that is what Father's Day is to us, is to celebrate and honor all of those father figures in our lives that has taught us, helped us, and brought that special meaning to life, right? So this is my way of kind of getting that out. And this is how we mindful craft. This is exactly what mindful crafting is all about. So please, add me to the Facebook at our page, our Segura's Craft Facebook page as well. So I have my personal profile that I've told everyone about. It's out there. And let me see what you guys make. Tell me your stories. If there's anything that you would like me to address when it comes to mental health, I am going back to doing mental health because I realize that it's what I'm very much passionate about. And I'm gonna try not to make it too boring. I felt like the way I did it before was a little bit boring, but I definitely want to reach out and go at it again and try to teach you guys about mindful crafting and kind of crafting with an inspiration to something that means dear to you, that brings you happiness. It's not necessarily just dealing with problems, but also about trying to connect with something that is beautiful and seeing it in form, because it's really hard for us sometimes to believe things that we can't see, and sometimes being able to create it and make that visualization is everything. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. This is called spontaneous crafting, so this is not a planned live. This is lives that I will just randomly do sometimes until I can really figure out a good date. I'm trying to make sure that I don't cross over with any of the other wonderful YouTubers that do lives as well, and kind of just be here just to enjoy you guys and craft us something beautiful, make mistakes, laugh. So I hope you enjoyed this card. I will see you next time. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live again. our spontaneous craftings. And if you also want to get heads up on when we upload new videos, I do plan on starting to uploading a lot more videos as I go. But of course, you guys probably remember military, so family, so we do move a lot, and I am about to move again. So we're packing things up, and I'm currently just using what I have left in my craft room. So I will do my best, but I will always make sure videos are uploaded for you guys. And if I don't, alive it is. I will see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today, a great weekend, and to never forget, you are beautiful, you matter, and your life is the art of this world. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Craft right. Bye.